and welcome to another exciting episode of Digging History and Honoring the Sacrifice. And this is going to be part one of a two-part series, folks. And it's going to be filmed on location in Bald Head Island, North Carolina. Now, if you've never heard of Bald Head Island in North Carolina, it was made very famous in the 17th and 18th centuries when pirates just ruled the coast of North Carolina. North Carolina, and in particular around Cape Fear River, where it comes into the Atlantic, was a famous hiding place for hundreds of pirates. Digging History and Honoring the Sacrifice has received exclusive permission to go and hunt for treasures, to include pirate gold, on Bald Head Island. Now, we went out and did a little reconnaissance, and you're going to see some of the videos from our initial reconnaissance. Now, we didn't find any gold, but we did find an actual piece of a sloop, a ship that was famously used by pirates in the 17th and the 18th century. And I wanted to kind of show you this little piece that came off of a rib of a ship. And what makes it so unique, in addition to the fact that you can see where it is very, very, very eaten up with the worms and the barnacles and everything. But I want you to look right here, folks. That is a nail that is made out of brass, and it is a handmade nail. And if you study the history of nails, you will see that this nail came from right about the latter part of the 17th or early part of the 18th century. So that dates it right around the time of Blackbeard and his famous running up and down the coast. Of course, there were many pirates. Two of the ones that come to mind are obviously Edward Teach, famously called Blackbeard. Now, when you do a study and you look into Blackbeard's life, they made a movie about it. There's all kinds of movies about Blackbeard. But Blackbeard was a vicious and just a notorious pirate who was extremely brutal when he would go into battle. He would put cannon wicks in his beard and he would light them. He was famous for chewing on coffee grounds and all sorts of things. And peppercorns. He would chew them raw because he was just that kind of a man. Edward Teach was called Blackbeard because of his long black beard. Now, there was another pirate that they called the gentleman pirate, and his name was Stede Bonnet, B-O-N-N-E-T. Now, when you go to study Stede Bonnet, there is a difference in the two. However, ultimately, both of them faced the gallows and they were hung for piracy in and around Charleston, South Carolina. Now, folks, I can tell you that this is extremely exciting for me to be able to have not only a piece of a ship that came off of a sloop. The only reason why I know this is because where we got it and how we got a piece of this wood is because there was a storm front that came through and it exposed this ship that had been just laying like near the, near a building actually on this island, and no one knew it was there for 200 plus years. And when it was totally uncovered, there were some pieces of the ribbing that were left, and with permission, I was able to get this small piece of this ship that they believe came off of a sloop. They're almost certain that it came off of a sloop, and they're fairly certain that it came off of a pirate ship that was used in the piracy because there were just so many of them. And you got to understand that when pirates, ran across the ocean, they didn't all wear an eye patch and fly the flag of the skull and crossbones. No, they would fly many flags, or in some cases, no flags at all. And their goal was to come in and hide in and around the Cape Fear River and around Bald Head Island, and then they would come out and they would attack merchant ships. The place is absolutely littered with ships sunk all up and down that coast. The island, though, has more to offer than just the metal detecting. It is a beautiful vacation paradise. If you get a chance to go to Bald Head Island, I would encourage you to go. There are many places that you can stay. There's the Harbor Light area where we stayed at, and the folks there were just so genuine, so wonderful. There's a lighthouse that is there that was built in the 1700s. The site of Bald Head Island is also the site of America's first amphibious assault. When the Continental Army in 1776 crossed the river, the Cape Fear River, and they were attempting to take over a British stockaded fort that was on Bald Head Island. Unfortunately, they lost. But the significance of our first amphibious landing is pretty cool, folks. It's really cool. And the fact that we're able to bring it to you here on the West Virginia Library Channel, you're going to be able to see a lot of the island. I got to tell you, though, when we were searching the interior of the island, we had to go and get permission from several, landowners, and we very graciously received some permission from some of the most awesome sites, to include an area that's privately owned by a gentleman that is part of the old defense works of the Confederate artillery that was there during the Civil War. So we were able to also recover a couple of Civil War artifacts. In particular, a young man, 9 years old, his first metal detecting trip out, we took him out, and he was able to find his first the only Civil War artifact that was found that day was found by that young man, and it was his first find. And you want to talk about excitement when you see a 9-year-old kid pick up a piece of lead that was poured into a bullet, back in 1863, 1864 time frame. It is just unbelievable. We also found a coin while he was out there. And the whole purpose of this is to tell you that this is a family-styled event. And this kid had never been out before, and he was the grandson of one of the landowners that was there. And we agreed to take him out and to show him how to use the metal detectors. And folks, we have now secured a future metal detectorist in North Carolina, because he's already asking his grandpa to buy him a metal detector, and that is so cool. But what was really cool, as I've said this before, is when you get to see artifacts or even touch artifacts of this age, of this significance, and you get to share that with children, folks, that is awesome. So I want you to sit back, and I want you to enjoy our initial trip to Bald Head Island. But remember, this is only part one. We got a lot more coming. So we'll be right back, folks, with more digging history and honoring the sacrifice. Okay, folks, so we're out here at Bald Head Island, and we've got a new metal detectorist down here. His name's Henry, and Henry's going to be using the Mini Horde today. And as you know, it's made by Nocta Micro, and it's real simple to use. You turn the button on. There it goes. You got a full battery. It gives you a thumbs up. And I want to show y'all how easy this thing is to use. And you can tell how new it is because we still have the covering on this. So you want to stretch that out. Look at that, telescopic. And then whenever you're looking, you're just kind of going left and right and going around, and then you'll hit little things. Like there's something there. Now you see how that's got that thumbs down look right there? That means that's kind of probably junk. So yours is a better machine than mine because it just gives me numbers. And I'd be down here digging it, but you know better, right? Now, if you come up on something that's not junk, then it'll come up with a thumbs up. Now let's just see if maybe I can do my ring. It's giving you the thumbs up. So, cool, huh? Now, this right here is called the pin pointer button. So if you're wanting to, so you don't need to have a pin pointer, you can kind of, it'll tell you right where to go. See? When you hear that high pitch, that's where it is. So I'm gonna turn it off for you. And I'm gonna let you turn it on, do your own thing. Feel how light that is. Whoa. That's nice, isn't it? And then this right here is where your arm can rest in it. And so your arm won't get... lefty. Oh, yeah, okay. And then, now is that too tall for you?
No, I don't think so.
What about this? Let's see. Now let's watch you swing it. That's exactly how you swing it. And you can go back and forth as fast as you like. The important thing is this right here has to remain just off the top of the ground. And that machine right there has found Civil War bullets, buttons, coins, pocket knives, cool stuff. You ready?
Yeah.
All right. So, Rod.
Yes, sir.
United States Army veteran, right?
1958.
1958. Yes. And you look young, incredibly like you're in shape. You walk, you run, what do you do?
Run, walk. I go to the gym 6 days a week, ride 4 miles a day,
Uh-huh.
plus do some other body stuff.
Yeah, we can tell that, absolutely. So, what did you do in the Army?
1958, I joined the Army. Wanted to go to Germany.
Uh-huh.
My uncles fought in the war, so I wanted to go where they had been.
Mm-hmm.
Did the basic training stuff. Ended up in Germany. Went to survey school to become a surveyor. Ended up in the engineering company doing surveying in Germany, locating and putting markers in place. You know, at that time, you know, the Cold War was going on.
Yeah,
so we
absolutely.
were, putting markers down where we thought the Russians would come through. So it was a lot of field work, and it was a great time in life. Great for me.
I'd say some of that stuff was there in the 80s when I was over there, probably, because the wall was still up. There was so I was down at Fulda Gap in Fulda, Germany.
Yes,
so
the Gap we were mapping in there, so we had all the you know, elevations and all the markers in place.
Yeah.
Just in the event there was an intrusion.
Wasn't that cool though? Germany was just a cool place, and
Yes.
and so now we're at Bald Head Island, and you know a lot of history about this island, and I'm really excited, and we're thankful for you getting us out here on this island, getting us some permissions in some of these spots. What's so unique? What's the most unique thing you can say about Bald Head Island?
It probably goes back, James, to the now developer that many people have tried developing Bald Head over the years. Where we're about to go on here is the Boyd's Hotel site. Was initially built in the 1900s. Of course, his plan was to develop the island. He sold some lots, but of course the Depression, you know, ended that. What makes Bald Head really unique is the environment. The current developer, the Mitchell family, Mr. Mitchell, George Mitchell. It's just have to give him all the credit for what you're going to see. He put in place some great covenants, restrictions. You can't cut a tree down over 5 inches. You can't have a house over 35 feet tall. You won't see any big flying boxes like you do on the Outer Banks. Everything has to stay within the canopy of trees. You can't go any clear cut. No lawnmowers allowed.
Wow. Not many cars either. Everybody's on golf carts.
Cars. Everything is golf carts, bicycles, rollerblades. Right, Henry?
So while we're doing a historical survey on here, I want to, you know, stress to our viewers that this is a great place to visit, vacation. This is a great place to seriously consider if you wanted to do a real timeshare where you could come in and you would have a place that you know would be here to stay. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah, we bought the Marsh Harbor Inn about 20 years ago. It was a bed and breakfast. Along came the financial crisis, 2008, and so we were forced to fractionalize it, and we created within the inn 143 units. You can refer to them as timeshare, but really they're fractional, under the fractional regime, which comes under the North Carolina Real Estate Commission. And what we created were 11 separate rooms or suites, each one having 13 shares of 4 weeks each. So you get a week in each season, and that rotates as the calendar goes forward. So you get a chance to experience the entire calendar, and all you have to do is get here. We have an HOA that handles all the expenses, repairs, maintenance. So you just pay your ferry ticket and you get here. So it's a great way to enjoy Bald Head. You're surrounded by $1 million properties and people that just want to get away, relax, enjoy their family, pet friendly, and it's just a great place to create memories.
You know what was really, well, and this is common, like we were just parking here to get out, and along comes somebody and says, hey, do you need any help? I mean, this is one of those places that like shoots you back in time many, many years, where the neighbors actually talk to each other and they seem to be really friendly. Everybody's friendly here. So I'm excited to be here, and we're gonna get out and hopefully find something cool from the Boyd Hotel, or maybe something from the Civil War, or maybe even something from Blackbeard's time, because there were pirates that used to run this area as well. So it's hard to tell what we're gonna find today. So any questions, comments?
No.
Wear bug spray. All right, folks, we're gonna go hit it, and we'll let you know if we find anything. Okay, Digging History fans, so Henry's already found a piece of lead from the Civil War, guaranteed, from the Confederate camp that was here. And then I found some kind of a little piece of brass here, not sure what it is. Could have been off of an old shell casing, but I'm gonna say, you know, estimate this to be about 100 years old. So I don't think it's quite as old as what Henry found. So he's stumping us right now. So you've already beat us, man, you know what I mean? So he's already found a piece of lead. The dirt's real easy to dig here, and we're just having a blast down here. We're just right on the trail. I don't think we've came off the road more than 15 feet. So anyways, all right, folks, keep watching on Digging History. Bald Head Island was used extensively for training during World War II. And this is a common find. It's a 50 caliber machine gun shell casing. Found it here, probably fired from an aircraft, so it probably fell from the sky and landed here probably around 1942, 1943. And it's here until we found it. So, hey, that's pretty cool. We'll keep looking. The date on this is 43. So if you look on the bottom there, the maker's date on there. So, I might be mistaken. But either way, this is from an air, yeah, 43. 43. This is from an aircraft. 100% guaranteed. So they were probably strafing some of the old sunken ships out in the bay, and this is what fell out of an airplane, training one of our airmen pilots to go over and fight in either the Pacific or the European theater. So that's a pretty good find. History, folks, history. So we're out here looking around. As you can see, we run into more modern stuff as well. This is probably circa 1920s, 1930s. But I think there was an old shop here, as Glenn was saying. We have Glenn with us too. United States Army veteran as well. Yes. So we've got 3 Army guys out here. We can't get the Marines or the Navy to ever come out and go digging with us. And the Air Force, you can forget it unless it's on a beach, and you gotta have, like, my son's in the Air Force, so I can say that. He's, you know, I mean, you gotta have pina coladas for those guys.
They don't want to get in the dirt.
Yeah, they don't want to get in the dirt.
Yeah.
But this is so cool though. So you have this here, and then around there you have a Civil War encampment, and then you just walk up in the middle of the woods into something like this. And these bricks, it appears, were made, pressed here. As you can see the sand in it. And these are hand-pressed bricks. Look at that. I mean, you can see the pieces of shell and everything that's in it. That is really cool. All right. More finds on Bald Head Island.
The beach now? Or you want to hang out here?
We can hang. You want to hang out here a little bit more?
Yeah, we can hang out here.
Just kind of do a 360 around into that tree line, and we should find something. But now Henry's already found a coin. Yeah, not an old one, but he still found a coin though. And he found a piece of lead.
I got an old shell that I found.
Oh, cool, yeah.
And when you touch it, it started to fall apart, so you know it was old.
Ah, yeah, you brought your little thing, yeah?
Yep.
Now that's cool.
That was right over there. Yep. Tried to read it with my magnifier. You could barely see it.
Yeah.
Cleaned up a little bit more. But that's old shell.
That's probably a 38, probably from the...
And you feel it's real fragile, so it just starts breaking.
And you know that's what this terrain will do. It'll break it down real good. But gold and stuff like that, it'll never break down, so. Okay, folks, Bald Head Island. This, we have just figured out, is part of the Confederate artillery battery out here. And it's on private property. So, that we got access to. So it's so cool. But if you look back here, you'll see there's mounds of dirt that was built up around this. Down there was probably a lot of your stuff down there. And then up here, as you can see, this little area is where they could pull a cannon up and they could fire around into the ocean. Unbelievable. And it's still here, you know, in really good shape. So the cool thing is that we're not out here digging and tearing stuff up. We're really doing a lot of selective looking here. So with that being said, I think we'll find something here from the American Civil War. Henry's already found a piece of lead, and now that makes really good sense as to why he found that. It was a common piece of camp lead, and, well, there were definitely Confederate soldiers here, melting bullets and pouring bullets. So, pretty cool. Pretty cool. But as I look at this right here, all of this has been man-made here. Every bit of this. All this is man-made. I'm getting a lot of little iron signals, which is not uncommon. Nothing really heavy solid yet. But I'm very hopeful. Very hopeful. This is pretty darn awesome. You know, even if you don't find anything, the fact that you get to walk this ground and every foot tells a story. And these Confederates, they held this position until the end of the war. So that tells a story. On their tenacity and their drive down here in North Carolina. Awesome. All right, folks, we're out here on the beach now. As you can see, the weather's getting a little bit nasty on here, but found a piece of an old pair of sunglasses so far. And of course, I'm picking up a lot of trash from the beach. which is good. So we got Rod down here, his first time on a detector. Got Glenn, got Henry. We've got my wife Heather, Cassandra, my son Preston. And it's a little bit chilly, but they're out there braving it, picking up shells out there, which is, it's kind of cool. So, all right, folks, keep watching on Digging History. Hopefully we'll find something really, really nice. All right, folks, this is a cool find right here. It's an old buckle. It could be off some equipment from the Civil War. It could be part of a shoe buckle. I don't know. You know, I'm not going to speak on it. I'm going to have to look it up, but it's definitely a buckle, and it's definitely old. Really cool. All right, that is a cool find down here on Bald Head Island. And then let me give you kind of a shot of where I'm working my way out to. So the cannons were behind me. So if they were firing, there's a possibility some of the rounds that they fired out there, either practice or whatever, or firing at Yankee ships, may have made their way back on the beach. I don't know. But we'll find out. There's been a lot of erosion out here, so we'll see. This is such a beautiful place, though. And welcome back. So we hope that you enjoyed the first trip to Bald Head Island. But oh boy, wait till the second trip. See, folks, it's exciting to be able to get out and explore history. And you know, you can do that. You can do that with just a simple trip down to your local library. You know, it's a free resource that we have, and if you haven't visited your local library lately, take your family and go, or just go by yourself. Go grab a book, sit in the corner, get your library card dusted off, and start enjoying these free resources that are out there. And utilize these facilities for other things like meetings and so much more. We truly appreciate the value of education. And at Digging History and Honoring the Sacrifice, we use our local libraries a lot when we go into an area. As a matter of fact, I was in a local library on Bald Head Island, reading all that I could read and studying maps and diagrams, which they're all available in your local library. So, some of your greatest trips are those that you just make a short trip down to your local library and enjoy those resources. And again, folks, remember, this is part one of the Bald Head Island excursion. I fully expect the second trip to be even more exciting. So, with that being said, remember, folks, you can't find anything sitting on the couch, and we need you to get up, get moving, get to digging. Have a great day, and thanks for watching Digging History and Honoring the Sacrifice.